Good morning. Just spent 2 minutes talking to myself. All right. So you missed the whole opening and everything. I actually even had a good joke, but I forgot to hit the live button. So here we are. And let's get to it so that we are there and let's just rock and roll. So gold continues to push on the uncertainty. The biggest uncertainty that we had was obviously NVIDIA and the fact that everything's okay. Don't worry about it. You have no tariffs. We'll give you the tariff pass. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge to say no more. And then, oh, you don't have any tariffs, but you can't sell to them. Okay. So we have that little suck salad going for us this morning. And then we'll go from there. What do we got? And so that's it. And I believe we already have that video out there. So that's good. So that's definitely, it's definitely something that I want to look at. It's certainly something I want to pay attention to. The level of uncertainty is just crazy. I mean, they just gave him a $5 billion write-down. So it's not a small write-down. It's a big one. So we have to take that into account, and it is what it is. I would suggest that I would suggest very highly you watch how semis acted, all of them, even from ASML, who bookings were okay. They weren't great, but I would watch that very, very closely. I personally think that they just weren't that bad. I think some of this stuff like the ASML, to me, like it's going to be hard to really define this because it's super thin, but what you would have to do is just watch some of these things like these lower levels. And I have the pre and the post in. I just got rid of those hideous colors. I don't know that you're going to get down here or not, but these are the big levels for me. I actually think you can get back to that gap fill and go from there. Where did we close? Where was the close on this? Is it right here? Let's just hit this button because that'll tell me in 2 seconds where the close was. But yesterday's close was right here. Was it? There it is. There's yesterday's close. So that's what we would mark off. Let's go back to this. I think that's a big deal. I think that's going to be a big deal. I think all this pre-market's a big deal too. And then you just got hit last night from when you got NVIDIA. But they're really your big levels. I don't know that you're going to get through the I just don't know you're going to get through this close. It's actually less than what I thought it was. I don't know why you're telling me that's the close when the close is here. That's why I hate using someone else's indicator. I'm going to have to just recreate that thing and make it accurate. This guy had created it. It's actually great because it tells you the level super quick, but sometimes it tells you yesterday's close is not yesterday's close. So, and takes it 2 days back. I'll rewrite the damn thing. But I think that that's important. The other thing that I think is fascinating is Taiwan Semi's bidding down on this, and Taiwan Semi has earnings tonight. So I've seen this before where ASML's like weak, and then Taiwan Semi just rips everyone's head off. Is that what's going to happen today? I don't know. There's a lot of people that are like super negative on Taiwan Semi here. I don't know what's going to happen, out there with it, but there's a lot of ramping up and they're going to spend a lot of money. So for me on the day, I don't know that you're getting down to here. So I don't know. We have to really go through those, but I do think that you could retest the 160 level. I do think that that's very possible. If we are going to, there's the 745 for Monday and go from there. Where's the 4? Boop. I'm not really sure why this is so difficult for them to mark this off accurately. 1 o'clock, 2, 3, 4. Is it them that has the problem? Is it them or is it me? Is it me or is it them? It's them, right? It's not me. So there you go. There's your 4 o'clock level. I do think that that's possible to get back up there. Bonk, 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 bonk. That makes more sense, doesn't it? I do think it's possible to get back up there today. He's going to come out of that meeting today with China or Japan, rather. He's got the meeting with Japan today. He's going to talk about how beautiful the meeting was. That was a huge meeting. And, those huge, beautiful meetings, maybe something comes of it. He can get a deal done. the idea that these things are just going to get done like super fast, I just don't see it. But I'd watch those levels and then kind of go from there. I do think it's interesting how the MSTR is just holding here. They really tried to really scare the bejesus out of people last night and get them to sell. Let's do it this way. Maybe this will be easier on me. And then just mark that off first and then go to the extended. Now that I changed the colors, yeah, that's a little easier. But you're in a range here and you're pretty range bound. So, 300 to that 301 area, you can see those bonk levels. And I think they're your bigger levels. There's some minor levels in here too, but they're your real big levels. So I kind of like the way this is holding and how it just does not care. And they would be the levels, the most important levels to me that I would be paying attention to more than anything. That's really how I say it. What else are you guys going to ask about? PLTR, Tesla. You're asking me about PLTR. You'd be like, what about PLTR? And so mark that off. I had traded in this that I just closed, and today I really liked the volume I saw yesterday, but anything can happen. And it's a huge retail name. I don't think you have to worry about that today, but it could happen. Like if things got out of hand, yeah, you might want to keep that in there. But crazy where you were a month ago, right? And now nobody wants it. I think it's like it's up here. It's like 101 something. I want to say it's 101.33, and that's where the gap fill is. Hold on. I'll get you the exact area that I'm looking at. It's your total gap fill. And then you have this, but it looks at price projection. So instead of getting two different levels, you could argue that they're two different levels. I think you're just better off looking at it that way. I think you are. If you are on the wait list to get in, if this batch, there's 3 days left, and then I'm going to close it for, I'm going to close the community for at least a month because the amount of trading that's about to go on, I got to be hyper focused. And I speak to everybody that joins the community or give them the ability to. So I have it open for 3 more days. So if you're on that wait list, look for it. And then I'm closing it for at least a month. The amount of trading that's going to take place now that this stuff's behind us and the VIX is where it is, I think it's going to be pretty insane. So I'm like, I really have to watch. I really have to watch my time. And I do them. I do the onboarding calls. I don't have someone else do them. If they want to, they don't have to talk to me. They're not forced to, but why aren't we talking about, why aren't we talking about retail sales? Because I don't care. We'll talk about it in a minute, but like, does it look like it mattered? If we go here and take a look at the VIX, what are you getting from this? You put your high in. You tried to take out that high, you failed. You tried to take out that high, you failed. You tried to take out this high, you failed. There's not really much more to say here than that's it. Like, you had a 28 handle on the VIX in this market. Like, that's insane. So, can the VIX trade back up? Yeah. I mean, a 35, 40 VIX, like, you should be elevated. I mean, you're in a global trade war, man. Like it should be elevated. Like, I mean, if it's not going to be elevated for this, like, what are you going to be elevated for? So, I would argue that it should be way more elevated than where it is right now. But I continuously short volatility, and I'm happy to pretty simple trade. But not everyone's built for it. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do. But that's how I say it. I think that makes a lot of sense. What else are we going to talk about here, Willis? Well, we can get into these levels. Let's clean this all off. We'll start here, and I'll go through retail sales because some of them be what about retail sales? Okay. It's all about conviction right now more than anything. So we'll look at that bar, and here's the retail sales bar, and here's what you're doing. So you can already see how you acted on it, and let's get to it now. I'm curious about Meta. You have to read this article. Scathing article on him. Absolutely scathing article. Can I say that word, scathing? Do the cool kids still say they do? Well, I'm cool, so I'm bringing scathing back. Retail sales are up. So what's the problem, buddy? You know what I should check here? Give me 1 second. Today's Wednesday, right? All day. That's what my dad used to say. I thought it was so funny. Today's Wednesday, right? All day. Was not funny. Retail sales month over month. See right here, 1.4. Previous was 2. So what the consumer's saying and what they're doing seem to be two different things. These are previous numbers. These are your estimates. 9:15 industrial production might be interesting. Itchy speaks at 1. You need to read this article if you have the time. People always ask me, like, why don't you don't you get a digital Wall Street Journal? You're being algorithmic told what you're supposed to read versus you actually going through the paper and finding the stuff. Now this is front page 130. He speaks, not 1. And you probably have some light volume today. I think this thing gets smoked, and then we'll go from there. What else do we have here? I really like our community. All right. Stop going to the light, Frodo. Come on. Get it together. Where were we? Here. You're not going to want to break this. You're really not going to want to break this. You don't want to break that. Did I mention that you don't really want to break that? You really don't want to break that. But take a look at this for a sec. Throw this in here. Get your real levels. Come back to this and then go. And then we'll get here. You got to watch this. You're going to have to watch that low wick right there. You're going to have to watch this too. And then go from there. I had a great meal the other night. If you guys are ever in Miami, go to a restaurant called Mila. It was absolutely amazing. It's just that 8 p.m. close. I don't care about you. Absolutely amazing food. I hardly ever go out. I just work. But sister came to town. Food was banging. It was so good. It's interesting, isn't it? All right, here's my 700 levels if you want to screenshot it. You got an issue there if you can't rally. My problem as a trader in 25 years of doing this is I'm always early. Like I'm always thinking that I'm always thinking that people are thinking the same way that I am, like that they already get it, what's going to happen. And I'm always early. It's the problem with being fast. And there's always like more pain and then more promise than I think there is. So you just have to build it into your model, Sam. So you crack here, you got an issue. You got an issue here. You can drop here. Give me a second, guys. I have to open up one of my trading platforms. If anyone has a really good mouse or keyboard that doesn't make noise, drop it in the comments so I can look at it. And if you have questions, like start dropping questions and I'm going to start writing them in newsletters, like the free newsletters. People have really good questions and then I don't have time to answer them during these things. So if you have like a really good question, it doesn't have to be timely, it just be about trading processes. Just start dropping them in the comments, like on the video in the comments, any of the videos, because I go through every single comment personally. Where am I here? What do you got for me? That's deck short still working. Okay, good. I'd watch that level like a hawk. Time is it? 8:45. I got time. All right, so let's do the ES for you guys, you crazy futures traders. Super simple, doesn't it? I think it's so much cleaner. I mean, they're your big levels. They're your big ones that I would focus on. But it seems to me that they're just, the uncertainty is going to piss everybody off. Excuse my language, ladies, but like there's no other way to say it. What they did with NVIDIA yesterday was just dirty. And people are annoyed. Like you are. Oh, you got the NQ already? 2. All right. Yeah, they're just getting dirty here. Let's look at Tesla because you guys are asking about that. I'll have a couple minutes for questions here, but today's going to be, I'm going to be slammed today. I can already say it. I think you're going back to 42. I really do. I mean, I don't know how these guys are supposed to, I mean, just being candid, I'm not taking a position here, like a political position. I don't literally know how you're supposed to run a business like this. Like you're changing all the time. Like they're your big levels. And if you gap fill and you go over, that's great. But I mean, are you going to come to an agreement today with Japan? Like, can that even happen? You know, I don't know. I think it's good that Trump's going to it, but I mean, I think we were just talking about this in the community. It's like, how long did Canada, Mexico, how long did that deal take? There's your levels. Watch the 244 level, but 242 is like gold. I think we've traded that like 3 or 4 times. Like that just keeps working, like over and over again. All right, let's go. Let's get some questions. What's up, John? We have a 20-year bond auction today. Why wasn't that in my notes? I think you're right because it was in my longer notes. But it is. You do. You have a 20-year bond auction today. Crap. The 17, I know, but I forgot about the 20-year. That's not good. Not right now. This is not the day for that. That's going to be a problem. What else you got here? So I like PLTR a lot here, and I like I like Netflix too. I had a really good trade in Netflix. I think we pulled like all said and done, well over 100% out of the options trade. I'm already out of it. I'm not going to take any earnings risk on it. I don't think now. I mean, it's already up $60, $70 from where we bought it. I like the crowd too. The PLTR we went over. The PLTR makes so much sense. So does the Netflix, but Netflix already just had like a big move. Um, the crowd's so fascinating to me because it doesn't seem to care. Like it truly does not seem to care about what's going on out there, like at all. I was looking at this the other day, like totally like, oh no, software's in a lot of trouble, right? Like software's in so much trouble. Like look at this perfect rejection off the 55 here. Like look at, I mean, it's perfect. Like it's a perfect short again, like to re-short. That's what you do. You just, when you're in these kinds of markets, when, you know, all this distribution, you just re-short when you get to the 55. Like crowd just does not care. It's interesting. It's interesting. So I should have that in my red list. I don't know why I don't. You know, I'm just going to drop it here and put it in here. I don't know why I don't have that in my red list. It was on the list, and look at the volume yesterday too. So I could see why you're looking at that. All three of those names, two of them, one I already did a trade and I'm out. I don't know that I'm going to take Netflix risk into earnings. The KMI to me is very confusing, and I don't know that I want to be there for that. The chart's very confusing to me too, because you could argue that you have a head and shoulders. Julian, like that. I mean, you could argue it, right? You could see how someone can make that argument, right? There's your neckline. Will be tested. Yeah, but you didn't get over the right shoulder, so it's still there. So you have that. I mean, that's one way to look at it. So I'm not crazy about that. UAL is doing this thing that everyone's doing. They're going to give you different ways to look at their earnings. I mean, oil's dropping or should be dropping. Oh, for God's sake. Right? So oil imploded, right? Okay. So once that happens, what's that mean for us? So I think when you see oil imploding like that, what you want to do when you see that, when you see that, like when you see something like that, you want to pay attention to it. That's really good for these guys. Like really good for American Air. Like it's fascinating to me that they're not buying the whole group. Like that, it's really kind of interesting. Like, why would you just buy the whole group here? It's probably the time to actually buy the whole darn group. Like, why wouldn't you buy the group here? You know, I mean, you're pretty darn washed out. Like from a long-term perspective, if you start getting cheaper rates, like everyone's like, oh no, recession. Well, you've already priced it in. Some are going to argue, no, you haven't. No, you haven't priced in the recession. And then you kind of go and go, all right, well, this was pandemic when nobody was flying. Is that what's going to happen again? No one's ever going to fly again. Like that's where we're going to get to. So like here was the bear market levels. 15. Where are you? 19. So like I don't really see much to do here except like this is where you start buying this kind of stuff. You know, everyone's a long-term investor until it's time to be a long-term investor. And then nobody wants to be a long-term investor. So I don't know. Yep, please hit the like button. Helps greatly with the algorithm. TRV, good earnings. What's up, Jacob? Still in Tokyo? Weren't you in Tokyo? Insurance companies are going to kill it. We just got there was a margin call by somebody. Somebody had the mother of all margin calls. And you just had this huge buying opportunity. It always happens in these markets. And everyone's scared. Oh, I can't buy it now. But now I love it. Never fails, like never fails. So it's definitely an issue. Do you buy travelers now? I don't know. It's like when I look at Root and people always are like, oh, I want to buy Root. And again, everybody wants to buy Root till it's time to go out there and actually buy that, which is this kind of the area you should be looking at that. I really like this too, but I don't know. When's he going to ban avocados? Like, it's just, there's so much uncertainty. It's crazy. And I'm trying to be cavalier about it to lighten the mood, but it's getting, if I'm getting tired from it, I can only imagine how retail feels, because you get less tired. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know you could change that to a dot. Do I want the dot? What does that do? What's so great about that dot? About an arrow. All right. Versus my crosshairs. I like my crosshairs. Is the arrow better? What's a demonstration? Anyone play with this yet? What's that going to do? Oh, it like highlights it. Hold Alt for temporary drawing. Alt. Ooh, we're going to have fun on Saturday. Who can draw stuff and it's got two thumbs? Oh, and it goes away. Can I change the colors of it? Okay. All right, let's go back to the class. Okay. Anyway. Oh, I'm going to have fun. I got to figure that out. Change the colors of that. Oof. I have issues, I know. But I think you have to look at some of this stuff, man. I think you have to start thinking longer term. Everyone's doing this. It's so dumb. It's so dumb. Oh, there's a death cross. Bro, where were you here? like, come on. Like, where were you here? Here? Here we got to worry? Like, here? Come on. Like, I'm not saying it's great. It's not. It sucks. But come on. Like, I can make the argument that you want to buy every death cross and look out 12 months. Like, you can make the argument. Like, buy every death cross and tell me how it goes in 12 months. Every single one. I mean, the biggest issue is people don't understand the monetary policy, but it is what it is. Headline risk is insane, dude. EWP, I actually want to check that, Jacob. I don't want to touch these. I don't want to touch these right now. If I did anything, it'd be buying banks. I'd buy the banks, and I don't want to do anything right now. I think you had to buy blindly into that dip. I don't want to do that now. I think there's too much risk, because a lot of people are taking their earnings down big time there. I think you're better off buying the high end companies versus buying, like Jacob. I know you love doing this stuff in Europe, and I think you're better off buying a basket of the high end luxury good companies. Your girl's not going to want to hear about tariffs. She's just not. She's just going to want that bag. Do you know what I'm saying? So like, someone's going to buy the bag. So like, if you just think about it from that perspective, like, no one's going to care. To an extent, yeah. I think that this was probably one of those great opportunities. People are going to look back and go, I can't believe I could have bought that. I'm hoping I get another sell-off in Hermes. I got a nice one in Ferrari, but the Louis Vuitton to me just makes me laugh. Like, oh, okay, yeah, keep selling it. My hope is that it cracks and I get like 300, like something like that. I'll just back up the truck. Right now, see, I always do this too. Like, I like watching these 200-week moving averages and not buying until I'm there. But this could get to a point where it gets super nasty, like super nasty. I mean, this is like Louis Vuitton is predicting some pretty nasty stuff. The way this thing's acting, like this is like global recession level stuff. Like, you're back to here. So somebody's really off when you look at retail sales. Someone's really off here. And I think it's the sentiment data, but we'll say. You know, the problem with NVIDIA is I don't think anything like that's going to matter. Like, all right, so let's do this. Like, here's the thing. All right, so that's the VWAP on the weekly. So which VWAP are we going to find that it's hitting? And that's where this gets like hard for me. Like, which VWAP do we want to use? Which one did we find that fits the narrative that we should always use VWAP? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I could just literally keep doing this all over the place and going, oh, look, you have to use the February one because that was the earnings one. Like, it's exhausting. There's time and place. So, like, I have this saying, and I think it's hysterical, but maybe it's only me. Like, you can VWAP all over yourself, right? So, do you want that one? Yeah, that makes sense. And when it ties together with other stuff like that, right? Like, that's what you want to pay attention to. Oh, that's where you held before. Oh, that's where the 8-day moving average is. Oh, okay. Like, yeah, that ties into here. Like, yeah. So time and place, 100% agree that you should be looking at that one. That makes perfect sense. Because if you can't hold there, man, you have a problem. But that is perfect. That makes sense to me. Like, the one thing that people need to get about this is they need to understand the pain point, right? And this is why I always like when people have like 15 VWAPs on a chart, you say, see, it hit that area. Like, okay, if I had 15, 1,000 monkeys in a room, one of them's going to type the Odyssey. Like, okay. But if I want to see where the pain is, and I look at something like that, like, yeah, man, you're 100% right. Like, that's perfect. Like, you have a VWAP pinch going on, and you're at the low end of the pinch, and you better darn hold that, because if you don't hold that, you do have a problem. If people here start going through pain, they're just going to kick it. They're going to be like, I'm not dealing with this. So 100%. And I do think that you should be doing that with all of them, like all of them. But I mean, once they break that, that's it. Like, that's the thing. Once they break those areas, like, this was such an easy short for me yesterday. I actually think I showed this in last night's video where I was like, I just shorted all day because, like, like, once that happens, like, you just know that you're hosed, because if you lose these people, there's no one left. They're not willing to go through this pain. That's why they waited here. You just have to think of it that way. You're 100% right, but use it sparingly and go from there. But you're 100% right there. Stand the way you're using it. I think you are. I don't know that it holds, man. I don't know. I was short it last night. As soon as I saw the news, I hit the button. That was it. I was short. I want to be real clear. Long term, I'm starting to build a position. I hope it goes to 86 again, so I can buy more. But I have the way I trade. It might be different for people, like the way I look at stuff. But that's how I view it, and we'll go from there. I don't know if it's too late for me to do this. I was too busy scrolling around here. Give me 1 second. And I'm not knocking how other people trade. Everyone should trade how they're comfortable. But give me a second here, guys. No, that was the trade there. Now I'm going to do it down 70 more points. No, thank you. Missed that one. Okay. I like the call. I thought it was a good call. I'm going to have to do these super fast. I got a lot going on here. What's up? Yeah, I think you have to focus on the strong names and kind of go from there. I don't see the sense in. I thought IBKR was actually fairly decent. But again, I have a position in it, so I could be biased. I actually like him a lot, but I like the founder a lot. I actually think that this is grossly overdone. I was picking at it a little bit last night. Not a lot, just a little. That's why I didn't really say anything in the room about it, because I'm not even like a third there yet. But And I'm concerned about the market as a whole. I get the earnings miss, and that's a thing because it's on the gross margin side, but I understand why they're expanding. If he was worried about earnings, like this guy's gone through, if you ever read this guy's story, he's gone through so much, like, and he's been around for so many different like pullbacks and blowups. He's not increasing his dividend if he's worried. He's increasing his dividend. So it is what it is. I actually thought it was good. I actually thought ASML was better than expected. I thought the bookings were decent. This would not surprise me to see it move at all. And it wouldn't surprise me to see Taiwan Semi get it together later today. But NASDAQ right now is not saying that. Well, then, if, you know, a rising tide lifts all boats, man. So if this is going to go down, it's all going to go down. They're not bailing us out, dude. There'll be no bailout. First time here? Welcome. This is where all the cool kids are, Dole Whip. If Netflix does well, do you think TTD will in sympathy? No. I think Roku. Roku is the trade, the sympathetic trade. Don't ask me why. It just is. It's like Snap for some reason moves Meta. Like, okay. Depends on what you're trading. The biggest demarcation line for me is a 55-day moving average. Oh, I don't know. I'm trying to get through Wednesday, man. I have to do those videos. I really have to put together like trading view videos. I really should like have a whole series of them. Like all the little tricks and tips that I know on this thing now from playing around with it. There's a lot. So I should probably do that. I really should. Here's the thing. If you think you're going into a recession, we're hosed. Like if you think you're going into a recession, you're probably going to hear like recession talk, like real recession. Where is it? Like this is where I think you're heading, like in this range if we go into a recession. So like if you think you're going into a real recession, you probably have 17% risk to the market. The market will get crushed if we go into a recession. I don't know that you're going into a recession. I personally don't think you are going into a recession. I think we were in a recession last year, personally. But if you think you're going into a recession, you haven't even begun to see what's going to happen here. You haven't even, like, this market has not really gotten into full-blown earnings revisions, man. Like, that is a whole different can of worms. That's what people are like, oh, they're going to cut rates because things are slowing growth. Like, I don't want them cutting rates and slowing growth. I want them cutting rates and increased productivity. So if you think earnings are going to be where they are and you don't think we're going into recession and you're not buying here, I think you're making a mistake. That's how I view it. But that doesn't mean that I'm right. So, you know, that doesn't mean that I'm right. I'm really pissed that I missed this trade. It was such a simple trade. I mean, as soon as you broke the 830 bar, it was such an easy trade. I mean, there was literally nothing to do with it. Long MX Masters 35 and silent. Yeah, I should do those videos. Do I think we get a bounce? No, I think people are like, I can't believe you set me up. I think that's really the thing. I don't know that you hold the low that low. I think people are like really pissed. I think a lot of people feel like they were just set up. I don't know that it's that. I don't know that it's going to go over into the trade. I gotta go. I know it's going to go over into travel, and the dollar's weaker. And when the dollar's weaker, U.S. does not travel. because they don't get the same bang for their buck as when the dollar is strong. The reason that airline should do well is because crude oil is plummeting, so jet fuel will plummet. What's up, TP? I'm not gonna. I could spend an hour on that, man. Draw stool. What do we got here? So she don't care about tariffs. She's like, tariffs are your problem. Go figure it out. Pretty. I want this bag, the blue one. Okay. No, it's the exact opposite. Golden crosses are like beasts because it shows huge demand. What's up, Steven? Meta scares me. Meta could have problems. Remember, Meta deplatformed a former president. I'm sure he forgot about that. I'm sure that's like duck off of water's back for him, right? I don't know about that, man. I don't know. I don't know about that. The earnings guidance is going to suck across the board. Like across the board, the earnings guidance is going to suck. Terror, with the drama, terror lurks around every corner. It does feel like that. It's like, my God, what's he going to say next? Okay, so we're going to curse. Please don't curse in here if you want your comments shown. There's ladies in here. All right, I got to jump. Trade to win. Terror